And thank you to the gentleman at Formula Drift in Seattle that said those kind words. You motivated me to do this update video. All right, y'all, I am making today's video with a whole ton of fresh energy. I actually was at the gym, and today is Formula Drift Seattle, and one of my good friends, who you guys might recognize from the channel, Jordan, he works at RTR, America's team. We're always rooting for America's team in Formula Drift. He's currently there. He's working with RTR, and he calls me, and I'm in the middle of the gym. I'm out there just doing a quick 225, and he says, hey man, somebody just recognized me from your YouTube videos, and this person wanted to say that they really enjoy the content that I'm making, that I show the parts where I fail at, that I'm being as real as possible, and that they hope that I continue to make videos and don't give up on building the Formula Drift Pro-Am car, because they're actually very, they're enjoying the videos a lot, watching me build the FD Pro-Am car. And to be honest with you, I've been in a rut. I haven't posted a video in a really long time, and I've been really focusing on short format content, trying to get that engagement up, trying to get more eyes on the project, on the drifting and everything we're doing at Tirado Racing. So I've been kind of in a rut, and I haven't wanted to film a long form video specifically because I can make a short form video and get one of my last ones 120,000 views, 2,000 views, and my long form is getting like 200 views. So it's a lot of effort for not a huge reward, but I get it, algorithms, the whole thing. So yeah, going into this video with a ton of fresh energy because I have been working on the car. As you can see, there have been a few changes. And in today's video, I'm gonna address another change, which is also why I haven't been making a ton of content on this car, because we're also trying to figure it all out at the same time, because we've never done this. We've never built a Formula Drift Pro-Am car. So we're taking, for the most part, everything we've learned from the Party Pony and competition and applying it to this car. But let's go over some of the updates and the things that I have gotten done before I touch on the changes. Now, in previous videos, I have mentioned that we're doing the 2F Performance wide body kit. As you can see, I've got this fender mocked up, but I don't have the passenger fender mocked up, and that's actually for really good reason, which I'll get to here in a second. You can see the GT500 headlights. I had some leftover yellow film, so I applied it to these headlights just to protect the headlight. It was like Amazon film, so it doesn't look very sharp. It's got some streaks in it, but it peels right off, and again, it's just keeping the headlight protected. The GT500 front bumper, and of course, the custom Tirado Racing Cobra front emblem, just for a little flair. Again, tons of history with Shelby. We love Shelby cars, all the cars in the movies. My dream car is an S197 Super Snake, so I just had to throw that on there. You know, ever since I was a kid, this is kind of a dream. But you can see that's what we got going on, and of course the Super Snake hood. Now under the hood, everything here is pretty kind of empty. We haven't removed the LS subframe at all, but we've got a lot of work to do on this firewall, but that will all be handled by RMS Customs and Fab. You know, the boys, they do an amazing job. And you can see where I stopped modifying this fender and drilling all the holes out, because we're not going to be using the 2F Performance body kit on this car. Now, don't get me wrong, I think this body kit looks freaking sick, but it's expensive, and two, these things take a hit and they break. I'm not really a fiberglass guy. I don't know a fiberglass guy, and I need something a little more malleable, if you will, something that can take a hit and kind of pop back out. My boy Ricky Rips has been running this kit for a while, and he's had good results. But talking to Matt at Synergy Race Development, we've spoken quite a bit, and he has a body kit that's more like this bumper right here, where it's like it can really take a hit and pop back out. So that's the change that we're gonna make. So that leads to the question, what are we doing with this? So the reason why I stopped drilling and modifying this to fit this car is twofold. One, it was going to be tube chassis, so we needed to put the tube chassis in place first, and then continue to massage these fenders in place with the hood and the bumper. And the next part is that we're actually going to take this kit and throw it on the Party Pony at the end of the year, beginning of next year, for its full refresh. So what that means is that the parts aren't going to go to waste, and then all these extra front fenders that I have are actually going to come to use for the Pro-Am car. So it's gonna be a lot easier to replace parts, and it's gonna be a lot faster because the over fender from Synergy Race Development actually attaches to a factory OEM front fender. And I've got quite a bit of those stacked up just for preparedness going to Pro-Am or even the grassroots competition. So that's gonna kind of help with replacing parts as well as the cost of it, because the Synergy development kit can actually take more of a hit and actually pop back out. So that's the other reason why we haven't started cutting the back of the car yet, but I think we're going to start that tomorrow. Now, my original idea was to use a 2F Performance complete rear quarter panel replacement, which then created these tail light buckets as well. But we're going to use Matt's kit, and I've been looking at the way Matt has cut his car, and it looks pretty simple. Now, Matt's car is pretty much cut up to about right there, so it doesn't have this shape there at all. But what I'm going to do is actually leave this part here and cut it, leave enough room, because you can always cut. It's a lot easier to remove material than it is to add material. So that's what we're going to do. Same thing with the trunk here. There's online, he's got plenty of forms where he's got instructions on where to cut the rear, so you can do the rear tube chassis. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut all that out, make everything super simple for RMS to go ahead and weld and fabricate and put the rear crash structure in there. So you can see I've got the rear glass. I got all the glass out of the car actually, and that's to get it ready for all the fabrication that still needs to get done. All right, recently one of the bigger things that I've done is the doors. So I went and got them pretty much cut by a fabrication shop, and then I went ahead and finished them up the way that I wanted them. Now, I did get all this information from the boys over at Capaldi Racing. They've been with Ford Racing, Mustang Challenge, and currently in Mustang Cup. And at Mustang Week Galveston, they brought out one of their classic cars, which is an S197. And I saw the way that they cut their doors. They still hold their shape very well, but they are still super light. So I went ahead and picked their brains on how to cut it, and that's exactly what I did. All right, taking a closer look at the doors, you can see where I removed all the excess material, and I made everything have a nice little radius. I cleaned up all the edges and all the burrs so it doesn't cut you or catch on anything. But I kept the factory door locking mechanism per the Formula Drift Pro-Am rule books. The only thing I need to figure out is how to get the latch done up. So I need to fabricate that wire so you can pull down on this and the door still opens. You can see I got all the sound deadening out top, on the bottom, and there was a crash bar that went from here all the way across. You can kind of see where I removed it, and that was a pain in the butt to take out, but it saved a ton of weight. And again, the door is still pretty rigid, so don't feel like I lost too much structural integrity there. Now, since I knew we were gonna cut the doors out, the fabricator did make the cage with like NASCAR style door bars, so they can go into the door. So that's kind of the whole premise, a little more form with the function as well, in cutting the doors and getting the roll cage done. So let me go ahead and show you guys the inside if you're new here, show you kind of what's new there. Now, I do want to start out by saying that we are missing one bar per the rule book, kind of on me. I requested, again, style, form over function. When reviewing the rule book, we realized, bam, we're missing a bar. And so it needs to go back, and we need to get one more bar TIG welded in there per the rule book. The other thing we kind of messed up on, well, not really messed up on, we're kind of waiting for clarification, and that's going to be where these anti-intrusion bars go. Let's see if I can get a better angle over here. So Isaac's car is done up the same way, but he's getting told by Pro-Am that in tech inspection, that bar needs to go a little higher. So we kind of just pause what we got going on, and until we get clarification, we will not add the second bar when we go in for the third bar that goes into the side right here. Other than that, what's next for the interior in the cage is stripping out the steering column. There's still tons of plastics on here that I really don't need. I need to get my passenger seat in here at the end of the season and use it as a driver mock-up seat, so then we can get seating position, fabricate a bracket to tie the steering wheel to that crossbar up there, and then we need to get the dash to situate everything. All those things kind of fit together, so it's important for me to have all these things before we put everything in a permanent place, if you will. Same thing with the floors, because there is no floor, no carpet, no cushioning. There's a difference in height and where your feet sit. And I know Synergy, Matt at Synergy has a floor plate that we need to put in here first, and then I need to figure out what pedals. So the whole driver cockpit section needs a little more, needs quite a bit more time, so I make sure that I have the absolute most perfect seating position. So super happy with the way that all this, bam, is coming along. Everything's coming out perfect. The doors work great. There's still just a little bit of body work that needs to be done when this car goes to paint. I am gonna paint it, little dings here and there. But other than that, I really could not be happier. Anything on the rear really doesn't matter because again, we're gonna be cutting most of this off and replacing it with the Synergy over fender. As for the rear bumper, again, nothing too crazy. I'm actually gonna spin the car around and show you guys what I've got done there. All right, the rear bumper. Now, I am blessed to say that I have like 6 of these. So this first one, actually, I think it came out pretty good. But what I ended up doing was I ended up cutting it up a little higher. It's kind of hard to see the vision because there's still so much material left to remove, such as the trunk pan. You've got where the spare tire goes. You've got the actual rear bumper crash structure. So all that stuff needs to be removed. All that needs to be cut out. And I didn't stress myself too much on cleaning these taillight buckets because again, I'm gonna lob them right off. So none of this stuff in here really matters. Now I'm gonna finish removing all of these fuel lines that were in here before because this car was equipped with a fuel cell to run that LS. And once we cut out the rear and I cut out everything that I wanna remove, any extra or remaining sound deadening will also be removed and seam sealer, so we can do all of the stitch welding that this entire car needs, all the way from the inside all the way to the back. All right, now I am really cooking on this car because Milo over at RMS doesn't have an opening quite yet. So anything that I can do to make this car easier to work on by the time it goes to RMS will make all of that fabrication a lot faster. And that's kind of what's key here, because as soon as all of the fabrication is complete, as soon as we know what is done, this chassis can get painted. And once that's done, you know what that means. That means it's assembly time. And I can't wait for that day, to be honest. I'm enjoying the process. I am probably taking longer than any normal person would take that has done this before, but again, never done this before. So I think so far we're doing a really good job. I just need to stay on top of it, which I have been. And that's exactly what we're gonna do in the next video. So if you're watching this video and you enjoy this video, hit that like button, leave a comment below. And thank you to the gentleman at Formula Drift in Seattle that said those kind words. You motivated me to do this update video and immediately start the next video. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please watch the next one. I'm gonna start cutting the ass end of this car off. Until next time, peace out.